Hello everybody and welcome to another video where today I am bringing you my first ever deck profile. I thought I'd do these since I've started doing a bit more Yu-Gi-Oh content on the channel and branching out from just AMVs. So I thought I'd show you the decks I like to play. Now I'm not really a competitive player, like I love to play the game, but I've never really built a competitive deck. One reason for money, another reason I don't have any locals or tournaments near where I live anyway, so it wouldn't really make much of a difference. So most of the decks I play are just for fun and decks that I quite enjoy playing. Now the deck I'm showing you today is my Galaxy Eyes deck, focusing on Photon and obviously Galaxy monsters to get our big boss monsters. But I also have a bit more of a over 100 number engine running in there as well for a bit of backup. So without further ado, you're obviously going to start with your three Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragons. Now these are, well, partially the heart of the deck as Galaxy Photon deck. This is the card that sort of joins the two archetypes together and runs really well. And to support that, we have two Galaxy Knights, which are another two level 8s. Lets you special summon, normal summon them if you have a Galaxy or Photon monster on the field, which is great. So if you already have a Photon Dragon on the field, you can normal summon Galaxy Knight in attack position anyway without tributing, and if you do that you can also bring a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your graveyard back to the field, but it does lose 1000 attack points, but chances are you're going to overlay it anyway, so that loss in attack points isn't really that severe. And also, just as a bit of a backup, you also have one Galaxy Tyranno, because I tend to find that having more than one Galaxy Tyranno, it does clog up the deck a bit, and if you draw into it, it's sometimes bad. But it's always good to have it as a backup for a quick XZ summon during your opponent's turn. Now, you then also have your three Galaxy Wizards, because whilst these are level 4s, they also can increase their level to level 8s, helping them with your XZ summon of big boss monsters like Tachyon Dragon or Prime Photon Dragon. So I find them really useful as well for running off those combos, and also by tributing them you can add any Galaxy card from your deck to your hand. So you can add any of these previously mentioned Galaxy cards to your hand. Now onto the Photon monsters. Obviously you're going to start with your three Photon Thrashers. Now these can be the key to your Photon plays, because if you draw this guy on your first turn, you can special summon it while you have no monsters and then still normal summon another level 4 Photon monster. The most common one seen in the anime is of course Photon Crusher, and these two do work well together because they've both got over 2000 attack points, so they do work well with the special summon ability of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. But I also tend to play three Photon Chargemen, because once again level 4 Photon monsters, which are really good because in my extra deck, as you'll see, I have Star Liege Lord Galaxion, who requires two level 4 Photon monsters, and his ability is another quick way to get out Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. And just as a bit of backup, I also have Photon Circle, because having quite a few level 4 Photon monsters helps you to get that Star Liege Lord Galaxion play much quicker, because you generally have two level 4 Photon monsters in your hand at the start of the game anyway, and with Thrasher's ability it's quite good to get these guys out. And lastly, we have the two Galaxy Eyes Cloud Dragons, which are great ones because you contribute this card to special summon one Galaxy Eyes monster from your hand, and also when it's in the graveyard, once per duel you can use it as an overlay unit for a Galaxy Eyes monster you have on the field. So yes, they are the monsters, but now we will get on to the spells, and I always run two Photon Sanctuaries, because these provide you with tokens to help you special summon Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon if you're out of options for how to summon it, or if you just want to build up your field so you already have a few Photon monsters you can overlay into Star Liege Lord Galaxion anyway. Use his ability, get a Galaxy Eyes from your deck to the field, but also bring another one to the field, and then you can overlay. So that's always really good. Followed by two Galaxy Expeditions. Now, these are amazing cards because, well, as long as you have a level 5 or higher Photon monster or Galaxy monster on the field, you can add another one to your field, which means you could basically normal summon Galaxy Wizard. This is what I tend to do with it. Normal summon Galaxy Wizard, use its ability to raise its level by 4, activate Galaxy Expedition and bring forward a Galaxy Knight or Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon or Galaxy Tyranno, and then overlay into one of your rank 8 boss monsters. The other spells I play: rank up Magic Barion's Force. Now this is useful to go into your Chaos Xyz monsters, and that's the reason I run two. is because I don't just have Chaos number 107. As I say, I have a few over 100 numbers running in the deck, so that is a good way to rank them up as well. But also, on the spirit of rank up, I run 2 rank up Magic the 7th ones, because I know you can only use them once per duel. However, they are still quite useful if you draw into it. You know, you're going to get a big Chaos XZ boss monster from the get-go, so that's always a really good one to run. I run 2 Photon Stream of Destructions. Quick play spells, banish a monster on the field if you control a Galaxy Eyes monster. That's always fantastic and really good to play. Now, for the Photon sort of mechanism in the deck, we run the 3 Photon Leads, because they allow you to special summon a level 4 or lower light monster from your hand in face-up attack position. So even if you don't draw into Photon Thrasher, if you draw into Photon Lead and 2 Photon monsters, you can still get both those level 4 Photon monsters on the field and bash into Starlight or Galaxion. Now, I must say, going back to it, I know Photon Circle isn't the best Photon monster, but he's the only other level 4 Photon monster I found viable for the time. However, I know in the OCG there is the card Photon Advancer, who, when he is released, I will then get an implement into the deck, replacing the 2 Photon Circles and 1 of the Photon Chargemen, as his ability is much better, but he's not yet in the TCG, so I haven't been able to get my hands on him yet. And the last spell I play in the deck is Reinforcement of the Army. Still limited to 1 after the last ban list. However, this is great to get one of those level 4 warrior monsters, meaning the Photon monsters, to your hand for your XZ play. Now, just onto the last few, which are traps. I tend to run 2 Tachyon Chaos Holes, because that is great to protect you with your XZ monsters. If any of your XZ Galaxy monsters are destroyed, you can banish all the cards on your opponent's field. Next turn, instead of taking your draw phase, you can bring that Galaxy monster back from the graveyard, which is always a great way to play. I run 1 Photon Current, just as a little bit of defence. This is mainly also for my Galaxy Cloud Dragon, because where it's a lot weaker, if they somehow manage to negate its ability and it's left in attack mode and vulnerable, this will protect it, helping it see through to the next turn, where you can send it into defence position or use it in some other way. And lastly, I play Tachyon Transmigration, which is a great way as just a massive negate for all your opponent's cards that were in the chain previously before this card, shuffling it back into their deck, which I find really useful because a lot of cards these days can activate in the graveyard, like Tachyon Chaos Hole. So if you send them to the deck, it's less likely that your opponent can then use them. They're not a resource anymore because your deck isn't a resource, otherwise you could pick what you wanted from it. You can't, it's shuffled into the deck, you don't know where they are, which is great because you get those cards potentially out of the game for a little while. And now onto the extra deck. Now, of course, I'm going to run 2 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragons. Big bad boss monsters, negate abilities, gain their attack points. Quite easy to summon in this deck because they're only 2 level 8s. So they are very good to summon. And of course, with 2 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragons, you're going to want Chaos number 107's Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragons. Once again, very big bad. Good attack points, good defense points. With your rank up cards, easy to summon off of Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. And overall, just amazing cards that negate your opponent's abilities, meaning chances are when they attack, they're not going to be destroyed. And then after that, they're just going to deal massive damage to your opponent. Then, as I mentioned before, I've got the Starlight or Galaxion mechanic running in my deck. 2 level 4 Photon monsters. Once per turn, detach 1 XE material, summon the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your hand. Detach 2, summon the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck. I tend to go from for your deck because your hand is a resource, so having the Galaxy Eyes in your hand can sometimes be advantageous because you might be able to get it out in other ways, whereas in your deck, you don't know when you're going to draw into it. So getting it from your deck onto the field means it is finally a resource and you can actually use that card. Next, as I mentioned before, I have 1 number 62 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. I felt only 1 of this card was necessary because, well, you've only got 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragons, and obviously for its attack points to be viable, you need it to have Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as an XE material, otherwise all damage it deals is halved, which isn't always that bad, but sometimes you need that. So I thought only running 1 in the deck is good, because you don't always get the Photon Dragon out, you sometimes use the other level 8s to overlay. So that is the one drawback of this card. And obviously to run off any of the Galaxy Eyes monsters, you have number 95 Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. Another great one that banishes cards from your opponent's deck, and you can just play it on top of any of these Galaxy XZ material monsters, and it gains their materials as well. So another great powerful card. And of course, you will also play Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. The reason I don't have this more than one copy is because even though I don't play ultra competitively, I know in the modern game there are not as many Eczema monsters being played, or not as often, especially with Link Rules. If I ever do play Link Rules with my friends, I do tend to play Master Rules 2, which is XZ Synchro, but if I do ever play Link Rules, which are Master Rules 4, you do tend to find XZ materials aren't that common anymore. So having a monster that's ability focuses around beating other XZ monsters can sometimes be a bit null and void. So I only play one, but it is there as a backup if I need it. Now, onto the over 100 mechanic. I do run number 101 Silent Honor Arc and Silent Honor Dark. Now these two are great monsters. Silent Honor Dark's ability is fantastic, and with 2 rank up Magic Barrion's Force and 2 rank up Magic the 7th ones, chances are you will get this guy out during the duel. And Silent Honor Arc itself is only 2 level 4s, therefore with the amount of level 4s in the deck, its chances are you'll get him out and rank him up into Silent Honor Dark. His ability is fantastic because you do tend to find in the modern day a lot of cards do get special summoned, therefore by whacking him out you can take them away, make him an XZ material for Silent Honor Dark. They might destroy him, bring him back, gain life points equal to his attack points, then take their special summoned monster again. It's a vicious cycle, and I've been in duels before where they've destroyed him. Say I was playing against a friend who was using a Blue Eyes deck, brought out their alternative, they destroyed him to the graveyard, bring him back, gain life points equal to his attack points, take that Blue Eyes alternative White Dragon, special summon another monster that's stronger than him, destroyed him, send him to the graveyard, gain life points equal to his attack points, take their special summon monster. So this is actually a very good card in modern day because of its ability to take away special summon monsters. And today, in the modern game, a lot of people do special summon a hell of a lot of monsters. So he's very good and powerful to have for that, which is why I'm surprised the card price has actually gone down on him. I also run number 102 Star Seraph Sentry and Chaos 102 Archfiend Seraph. This is more of a backup to... I don't use this card as often in combos, but he is still quite good if you do ever need to lower monsters' attack points and deal a bit of damage that way. It's always very good, and negating effects is also very good and a good part of today's game. And lastly, I play number 104 Masquerade and Chaos 104 Masquerade. Once again, another good negator. Runs off rank up Magic the 7th one and rank up Magic Barrion's Force, and can send cards from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, and also cut their life points in half, which is very good. On a side note, with a bit of the side deck, I will sometimes run Ragnar Zero and Ragnar Affinity inside. These ones are mainly if I'm dueling a Dark Magician player who has a risk of running Dark Paladin, which can obviously be quite a nuisance towards my deck. I would tend to use Ragnar Zero, Ragnar Affinity as a way to use Dark Paladin's ability against him, get him off the field, banish him, and then keep going on an all-out offensive for my dragons. And last but not least, I will sometimes, but rarely, use number 39 Utopia and see number 39 Utopia Ray Victory. Not that often for me to play this combo, but I will occasionally put them into my deck, as they do sometimes deal quite a lot of damage. But anyway guys, I hope you really enjoyed the video today. I hope you're enjoying these new style of deck profile videos. Let me know down in the comments what you'd like. Let me know what you think of my deck. And yeah, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.